Right.
まれびとは歓迎するぞ。流れ歩くもまたよかろう。
おお、もうかように大きくなったか。
はい。どのような子が生まれてくるのやら。この未来は限りなく広がっておりますれば。強く生きるのです。強く。
己の身に慈しみを欲するならば近場の社を詣でるがよい。でけえ、あんなの相手じゃひとたまりもねえ。
Yo, Kujan. How you doing?
兵族ども
¿Qué
に
pasa?
どうかの天罰を。
¿Estás bien? Estoy bien. Decepcionado con tu ninja.
오, すっげえな。と。ほら、拾うもん拾ったらこっちに来てくれ。待ってたぞ。
Okay.
文読んでくれたんだろ。
Um,
俺は藤吉郎。
I'll just lower the game audio because it's actually pretty loud for me as well. Whenever the game lets me. Yo, Miji, how you doing? I'm doing alright. Have I checked out the Nioh 3 patch? It's nothing for me. Like, I checked it. I mean, if you want, I can read it and let you know my thoughts on it. But it is a nothing patch for me. Just like the previous one. Like, it's nothing for me. Where is it? News here. So, adjustments regarding the Stone of Penance. I don't care about the Stone of Penance, but you know, whatever. Make changes so that enemies take more elemental damage and key affects human enemies differently while using the Stone of Penance. Adjustments areas outside of the Crucible have the same drop rate. Increase the Crucible as the Crucible while using the Stone of Penance. Made it easier for pieces of equipment of level whatever or higher to drop while using the Stone of Penance. Increase the amount of gold. Other adjustments. Decrease the frequency of guard being used by some human enemies. This is the only thing that is actually kind of relevant. You know, the guard thing. But then again, it's just kind of like a very minor thing. Decrease the health of some enemies in the battle scroll within time everlasting, whatever that is. Like, I don't know what that battle scroll is exactly, but you know, it's like whatever, it's just one mission, one random mission that is just different now, a little bit. May change to the crucible weapons, also drop in lesser crucibles. That's also just a random thing, just for farming and whatnot. Selling price of divine equipment. Yeah, all the stuff, like after other completion rewards, one of which will include an item of divine rarity for clearing enemy base, one not. Like this is probably the best adjustment right here. Like after, like besides the like the in terms of like the game in general, this is probably the best one. Just giving completion rewards, you know. But then again, like there's nothing about like skill points, for example, you know, samurai points or whatever. Made adjustments to the completion rewards to make it easier to obtain an item of high plus value and whatnot. Yeah, and then bug fixes, which is, you know, sometimes something happening or not happening when it should not happen or should happen, kind of thing. Just that's about it. It's just very minor thing. Like the biggest thing is just the completion rewards for, you know, NG plus shenanigans, especially, and then, you know, the human guard, whatnot. But that's about it. Like it's just very fucking minor things and just nothing actually making the game better to replay at all. Been replaying Nioh 2 as well. Is your PlayStation save? You're almost done with Wise. Oh, damn. Well, the good thing about knowing a lot about Nioh 2, or you know, any game in general, is that whenever you lose the save, you can get back to it like pretty fast. Like for example, if I were to lose my save here, or you know, like I don't even know if I have it. I think I do, but you know, whatever, doesn't matter. If I were to lose my save here, I would just get it back in like a couple of days, pretty much, like the progress. Not exactly, of course, but you know, it's just for if I really wanted to get back to it and whatnot, I could do it in a couple of days. But yeah, anyways. Also, don't pay attention to the graves. I just had to go online in order to defect the clan. Learn hatchets, then. You know, this is one of the few things that are kind of like in Nioh 3. I think hatchets won by switching to ninja. Not that I like them either, but you know, I did like them less than I do in Nioh 2, I guess. But then again, you know. It's kind of like whatever. By the way, I might be a bit too busy on like lately, so I will basically be not streaming much, because the thing is, I've talked about this in the Discord, my Discord, but the thing is that I have to basically act as a substitute coach on my tennis club, I guess you could say. So you know, now the afternoons are basically all busy except for the weekends. And you know, I'll be doing you know, substitute work for a while. I don't know, maybe I could try switching to morning streams, but I don't know, I've never been a morning person. Never. Like, if I wake up early, I just end up like just taking a nap. Like, I don't tend to do naps, but when I do, it's because I woke up early. So, and by the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing exactly, basically what I'm doing right now, on this run I mean, okay, is I like to sleep in the morning, yeah. In fact, I sleep more in the morning than in the night. Like, for a fact. I usually, if I go to sleep, like sometimes I go to sleep earlier, but usually when I go to sleep early, it's like 2 a.m. or something. Like many days, including like yesterday, for example, or last night, I guess. I go to sleep to like at like or I go to sleep actually sleep at around 4 a.m. and then I go until, depending, sometimes like today I woke up earlier, and I think I woke up at around 10 or something like that, but usually I wake up like past 12. So yeah. But yeah, what I was saying, what I'm doing right here is basically I'm messing around a little bit with how the run feels without a clan. That's why I, defeated the clan. That's why I had to connect, go online. And if you don't exit the game, you cannot go offline. I mean, you can, but not if I'm streaming. Fuck. I'm gonna do this again because I didn't do it right. So yeah, basically, I'm curious about like how the run goes without the Maida clan, without any clan, and it might be interesting to run like that. So that's what I'm doing. Also, one other thing that I'm thinking about doing, just randomly, like one day, is a run where I just follow whatever the IGN guide says. That should be pretty fun. I'm gonna do it again. You know what I mean? Like pretend that I'm like throw away my knowledge, quote unquote, right? Not exactly, but forget about how I normally play the game and just play how the IGN guide says. So yeah, I kind of want to do that, like one day, maybe soon. I don't know. Like I think this weekend, is it busy this weekend? Do we have F1 or IndyCar this weekend? I don't remember. I hate when he just jumps, man. Like, him jumping is the worst thing that he can do at the start. He just throws everything out. I want to see like an actual proper fight, how it looks like. That's why I'm doing like so many resets on this. Because if I don't do that, then I'm kind of like doing this for nothing. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, I see. So I guess it's kind of like the same, but then I have to do one more grapple if I do it right, and that grapple should be with Yokai Shift. I mean, I already knew that it was like, cause you barely with my other clan you barely finish the fight with 2 grapples if you do it really fast. Like if it goes really well. So obviously I knew I was gonna need at least one more grapple, but I feel like it's just less of a difference than I thought. Yeah, that's not ideal. And that's the annoying part of it. Like, it's the moment that I cannot really replicate like a ideal scenario. Like, it's not great because like I like improvising I can do, like if it doesn't go well, whatever, you know, but if I find myself in the proper situation, I want to know exactly what I need to know, because, you know, otherwise you're just losing time for nothing when I could have just gone very fast, right? Coco. Okay, that counts. Okay, that works, I guess. I could also just parry. I could also fan break after the 3rd grapple. That might be better, because like I don't have much to lose. Like the fight is already basically over. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it again. Thank you, Kuja. Arigato. Obrigado. Grazie. I was just saying words in it's like saying thank you in languages until I remembered what it was in Italian. Yeah. Yo estaba let's see. Momento. Fuck. Okay, let's see. The thing is that fuck off. On a really good. Oh no. Oh, I know. I need to counter and then do that, I think. What was the setup? I used to have a setup for that. I think it was counter and then do that. I think that was a good setup for it. Yeah. How do you say it in Italian? Like, Let's say it. How do you say? I was just saying. Okay, maybe I know. Maybe I have it. How do you say saying? Like saying in a word. Like diciendo. Dicendo? I don't know. How do you say that? Okay. Yo estaba diciendo. Parola, ¿no? Parolas. Or grazie. En otro. It's just like the thing that annoys me the most is that it's very similar to Catalan and Spanish. So it just crosses my mind, and I'm just sometimes I think like, is this Italian? Is this Catalan? Is this Spanish? Yo estaba diciendo grazie in otros otros idiomas. It feels like I'm saying Spanish. Yo estaba diciendo gracias en otros idiomas hasta que me encontré con la palabra. Yo estaba diciendo gracias. And then in other languages until I remembered what it was in Italian. In un'altra lingua, ok. Io stavo dicendo grazie in un'altra lingua. And then until I remember how to say it in Italian, right? How to... Okay. Okay, like that's the last part. How would it be? Because the things like pronouncing Italian is Pier. It's super easy for me, right? Because I know exactly how that works pretty much. Oh, I forgot how to. Actually, like there's maybe a couple of things that I maybe have like a question mark about. Like for example, diciendo. You know, like it's dicendo, right? Io stavo dicendo grazie in un'altra lingua, finché mi sono dimenticato come si dice in italiano. That's correct? Okay. Okay, so finché is hasta, you know, until. Mi sono dimenticato. Dimenticato would be like to remember, you know, recordar. Come si dice in italiano. So finché mi sono, what does it mean exactly? Like... what would be like the structure of that? One day I'll actually learn Italian. Honestly, I should, because it would be like super fast to do. Like knowing what I already know and whatnot should be very fast to learn Italian. Compared to like many other languages. That's really good, actually. Oh wow. Wow. Ah, that's not what I wanted. Like, it became very chaotic at the end. I need to be more, you know, to have like a more stable fight at the end. It's like I am. Like if you were to translate it as literal as possible, like every word with finche mi sono dimenticato, how would you say it? Like if you were like super literal with it? No, but I was talking about like I remembered until I remembered. Until I remembered. Hasta que me acordé. Being Spanish. Ricordato. I was thinking like I was thinking like dimenticato is like gonna like I didn't remember that being like that. Yeah. Okay. Now it makes sense because when you type like dimenticato, it remind me of that song. I don't remember. Sorry, I'm not big into this genre, but I remember like the song. That it goes like dimentica per me. You know the song. You should know it for sure. Ricordato, remembered. Okay. Finché mi sono ricordato, come si dice in italiano. Okay. Would it be pinche? Because I don't know. They're making me doubt about like what was the actual full sentence like. No, I want to know. I want to have the free Italian lesson. Okay, this should be good. Yeah, that's super good. Ah, but then... Okay. Okay. So it can go several ways. Like if on the last one I can make him have like confusion, then I can just grapple and he dies. Okay, I'll just continue. Yeah. I should do that. The thing is, like, there's a lot of things that I want to do, honestly. And one of those things that I go, damn, I should do this, and then I never do because I'm thinking about other things. A lot of things like that, for sure. I forgot to do this. But yeah, like I don't know, like Italian is the language I really like, honestly. Mi piace giocare a Nioh. How do you say same? Like, a mí también. In Catalan it would be like a mí también. Anche a me. Anche a me. This is probably like in terms of like the early fights. This is probably the more concerning one to do without the Maida clan with the speed threats. Oh yeah, that pop-up is gonna appear every fucking time because of the how this thing works. Giocare a Nioh piace a Kuja, ma anche ad Axel. Pretty sure I understood like the exact meaning of that. Okay. And also to Axel, right? That'll be like the okay, let's see. This is the concerning part, because now I'm gonna do like way less damage. Honestly, like the damage difference is less than I thought. Like it's very similar to the run without it. Like to the fight without the Miracle. Interesting. I wasn't expecting it to be like that. Like maybe there's some diminishing returns of confusion with weakness. Yo, era un barre. What is up? ¿Qué pasa? How's it going? No. I just very demotivated towards the Nioh 3, sorry. No, like è vero. Ad Axel non piace giocare a Nioh 3. È vero. Nioh 3 è un gioco che ha perduto la essenza. No, non è come Nioh 1 e Nioh 2. Sei un Nioh-like, non verdadero Nioh, in mia opinione. Is that correct? How much did I fuck up? That was full input. How much did I fuck up? I'm actually curious. I guess I'll try to. Yeah, I mean, I did say Nioh 2 instead of Nioh Secondo. Yeah. Non è un vero Nioh Secondo. Is it Secondo like sequel? Because I'm reading it as second. But no, it shouldn't be sequel, no? It would be like secuela, right? Like in Spanish, pretty much. It's a bit hard here.
始めようか。
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting like about this. But yeah, basically I'll just say it in English because otherwise I'm gonna take forever in Italian. Just wait. But the issue with... Oh, I see. Secondo me, okay. Según yo, no? That would be like the translation in Spanish, or according to me in English. Like if you were to translate it as literal as possible, and that would be like the translation. But yeah, basically, like, there's so many issues with Nioh 3, and they're all kind of steamed towards like a change in the direction of what they want to do with the series, or in general with Team Ninja games or Koei Tecmo games. I don't know if it's like one or the other more responsible for it, but basically, like, they are trying to cater way more towards the casual fan base, and in doing so, they're forgetting about like some of the core elements that really stick out from Nioh 1 and 2. Secondo la mia opinione, is more related if you want. I see. Okay. So basically, the idea is, if you look at Nioh 3 from the get-go, just before even starting, you have Samurai style and Ninja style. Samurai style is the Nioh gameplay, okay? Nioh 1, Nioh 2, both have it. In Nioh 3, there's a split in the gameplay. That's like the biggest first indicator that you see in Nioh 3, that they want to change the formula and how it's not going to be like the other Nioh, okay? There's other changes that are very noticeable, of course, straight away, like the open world and whatnot. I don't think the open world is the issue at all, even though it does take into consideration. You have to take it into consideration for the, when you try to talk about this, right? So it is a factor, but in my opinion, is not the biggest factor. Okay, so in my honest opinion, if they really wanted to do like a Nioh 3, like as close as possible to like a true evolution of the Nioh series, they would have added like several of the mechanics that they have in Nioh 3, but just all in Samurai style. We would not have a split of the gameplay between Samurai style and Ninja style. Then, like, you could argue, about like the yokai abilities and whatnot. Like, honestly, Nioh 2 just nailed it exactly how these kind of things should work, but it was done in a particular way where it's just like this particular character, it happens to be a shifling, so if they don't do the shifling things, then it doesn't really make much sense, right? That's why they changed it, you could say. So in that regard, yes, that's different because of lore reasons, right? The other kind of changes that you see is right as you start the game with Nioh 3, you enter an intro that is basically a tutorial, a 10 minutes tutorial if you go really fast. And in that tutorial, not only do they lock you out of like high and low stands, on Samurai style, but they also like don't really teach you things, like they don't teach you anything like advanced at all. They just teach you things that you should have as a skippable tutorial to begin with. In my opinion, all tutorials should be skippable, but whatever. Then you have the tutorial pop-ups going on and whatnot. You have one of the worst things as well, which is whenever an NPC is talking, there's a high chance of that NPC just locking you into place or making you go super slow. You cannot do anything. You have to listen to them. You cannot interact with anything. You have to, go at the pace of the NPC, of whatever the fuck the NPC is talking about or wants to do, right? So that just goes against the principle of letting the player go at the pace that they want, which is very, very common nowadays. Both the tutorial pop-ups and this is very, very fucking common nowadays. So it would be okay if there was an option, to remove the tutorials, including the pop-ups and whatnot, have the option to, you know, not be locked in place or, you know, go slow whenever the NPC is talking. Like, I can see that being a thing on games like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, some other story-based games like, I don't know, Last of Us, whatever, you know. Those kind of games where the action is not the focus, right? I understand on those titles, but on Nioh and, you know, many other games that are just also very action-focused, I don't understand it. Like, people just come here for the gameplay, they want to play the game, they want to go at their own pace, right? You pair that with many other things, like, for example, in Nioh 2, you do unlock things as you progress, don't get me wrong, right? But none of those things are kind of like things that you could say, like, why didn't I have this before, right? For example, okay? In Nioh 3, you only have one main weapon on Ninja Style and Samurai Style until you do the second dojo for Ninja Style and Samurai Style. And then you unlock the second main weapon for that style, right? That just doesn't happen in Nioh 1 and 2. You know, you just have like the 2 weapon slots at the start. You unlock, like, this is something that I don't find like too bothersome because, you know, whatever, but they could have done it in a different way as well. You don't have like the counter, you know, like, not the counter, like the Guardian Spirit skill at the start. You get it afterwards, like at some point, you know, whenever you go into like one of those mini crucibles, or later on when you're in the crucible and you haven't done the other thing, then it just Nekomata just says, okay, I'm gonna help you, and then, you know, you get it, right? But not only that, without changing how the Toxic Cherry, welcome, without changing how the skill works, or, you know, how the ability works, or, you know, how it looks and whatnot, you don't have the ability to counter with that. Like, you do the same exact animation since the like from the moment that you start and you are able to do that skill until you know, stop playing the game, whatever. Thank you for the good luck. From that moment to whatever in the future, like, the animation is exactly the same. But then, if you happen to, you know, not you happen, but, you know, if you defeat, I don't remember the name of the boss, you know, like a particular boss in the first region, right? Until you beat that one boss, you cannot actually counter. Like, the game will not give you the option, or, you know, the ability to counter using those skills, even though the skill is exactly the same. Like, this kind of thing is just kind of like, why? And then some other things, like, for whatever reason, they decide to not have the option to buy things at the blacksmith. You can only forge things at the blacksmith now. I have no idea why that is a thing. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things like this. Like, yes, like, the thing is, this is the other thing that I was going to say. Nioh 3 on its own, if it wasn't called Nioh 3, if it was like, I don't know, Samurai Ninja, or I don't know, whatever, like, whatever title you put, like, just a random original title. If it was like a new game and Nioh didn't exist, okay, it would be like a really good game. The problem is that it is called Nioh 3, and it just goes against many of the things that Nioh 1 and 2 did really well. Like, it's very funny because they go and progress, they just fix a lot of things that Nioh 1 and 2 had. You know, like, for example, now, like, the grinding for skills, you know, like the hidden skills on Nioh 2 were a pain in the ass. You don't have that in Nioh 3. Like, in Nioh 2, you had to grind for skill drops, like hidden skill drops on the bosses. You still have some of that in Nioh 3, but not nearly as bad, not to that degree, right? So that is better. There's also like this is also very funny because you can just like you don't have to skip to watch the cutscene first in order to have it automatically skipped. Like in Nioh 2 and Nioh 1, you have to skip it first manually, or watch it first manually, and then after you have done that, then next time you see it on that file, you will it will skip automatically if you enable that. Do I think the DLCs will change the gameplay structure much? I don't think so. Yo, Seiho. Yeah, thank you. I was just ranting about Nioh 3. Yeah, bellissimo. So it's just like there's a lot of things that are just like there's quite a few things that they changed for the better, but there's so many things that you just went backwards on that I don't understand. Well, I do understand in some regards, but as a player and as a Nioh player and as someone, yeah, thank you, grazie, and as someone who likes to use logic as much as possible, I don't understand. Like, I understand them trying to appease a certain audience and, like doing things a particular way, but I don't understand why they would just also shoot themselves in the foot at the same time, right? Because, many of these things, like, they could just have options to make them a non-issue, but they don't have those options, so therefore it is an issue. Yeah, I wish I didn't hate on Nioh 3, because I mean, I am the first one who was like cautious about like Nioh 3. I did see like on the alpha, I did see a lot of things that are like kind of got me a bit worried and whatnot, right? And then I gave my feedback on that and everything. And some of that feedback they did listen to, right? But then some of the core feedback that was related to replayability of the game, they didn't seem to care about, like didn't seem to listen to. I'm saying like listen to my feedback, I say my feedback and other players' feedbacks, I'm not saying that they listen to me specifically, because if they really did that, then I would probably listen to those other options. But I think they did in some regards, at least to some degree. But anyways, what I'm saying is, like, I was cautious about it. I was not like a doom caller or anything like that, right? And even after the game came out, I was not a doom caller. Like, I just hoping for, oh yeah, sure, like they'll probably be fixing it or not, this is just early, like they can still fix it. They are not addressing those issues at all. Other than that, did I enjoy fighting in ninja style? No, not really. Like, sometimes, I guess, but the thing is, I hated feeling like I was kind of like forced to play ninja style in some parts, or almost forced. Like, there was such a fucking big advantage to playing ninja style in comparison to samurai style in many fights, and I fucking hate that. Because that's another thing. Like, the balance of the game has been affected by that, by the ninja style, and like, if they just stuck to the samurai style formula and they improved upon it, and then they balanced the game around that, it would have been like much better, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I was talking about hatchets earlier, like Nioh 3 hatchets, actually, in my opinion also, I think they improved. I don't think they're great, but I do feel like they are kind of like better, in a sense, for in Nioh 3 than compared to Nioh 2. I don't know, like the thing is, like with Nioh 2, like the hatchets just don't flow at least in the way that I want on a weapon. Yeah, there's a lot of that as well. The game flow, the options. Like that's the thing. Like having options for all these things is also super good and important. Okay, what I don't remember what did I use to level up here. Let me check actually, because I don't remember what I used to level up. Yes, I could check like my old run, but I should probably not do that. I should probably check like a run that I did a bit more recently. Yeah, here I guess I'll open up the one with commentary. That's the one that I have the most recent on YouTube. So yeah, give me a second. Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that. Yeah, I was supposed to level up earlier. Or no, I didn't level up here. Yeah, true. I don't level up. Man, I forgot about this. Yeah, because okay, let me think about. Do you like other Teen Ninja games like Dead or Alive? I have never played Dead or Alive, but I might actually play. I don't know. The thing's like I have less time than I thought I was gonna have because of the thing that I talked about earlier. Okay, so let me think about this because not leveling up here means obviously that I don't stop to level up and all that stuff, right? But also means that I use water talisman, like the item, the actual item. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't know, maybe I'll try it out. Probably I haven't. I don't know. I'm more busy lately. So yeah, let's see. So I use water amulet in this fight, upcoming fight. Did I ask for one? Let me think. I think I did. Yeah, I did. I did. I did fill up the thing. The thing is, like, for fighting games, for example, like I have played some fighting games before, but I have not owned a fighting game in, I don't know, 20 years. Like, I don't know. I haven't bought a single fighting game in so long. I don't know. Like even when I did have like a fighting game, it wasn't like an actual like fighting game like in what is it called? Like in Dead or Alive or Street Fighter or anything like that. It was like a Naruto fighting game, like a 2D one. Well, yeah. Anyways, so I use the water amulet here. Do I just level up on the... I think I do. I think I level up like just before Saika. And not before that. Give me 1 second. Or do I? No, I have 19 courage here. So I do level up before. I guess I do level up on the on Tatarimoke then. Yeah, I probably level up on Tatarimoke then. I just don't level up here on this one. Yeah, because I do the menu here. Yeah, I level up on Tatarimoke. I do everything on courage. I don't even know if I should do courage, but I think so. But yeah, I don't think I have the... Yeah, I don't. That's a bit annoying. That's a bit annoying. I guess I could just do this. The thing is, like, I don't know how... Like, normally I would just be using, like, an item here. Instead of this. Because then I save time by not, you know... Not doing the shrine menu. That's what happens when, you know, like that change was kind of recent, you know, like from like a few months before Nioh 3 came out. Let me check this. Okay, I don't have anything like that. Whatever. I forgot about that as well.
の弱兵どもがいくら来ても無駄よ。
なんだ雷が落ちてきた。
どもめ我らに勝て。
I gotta check this actually. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna do it better. It might be actually be better to level up with this, because then I have. Or no. No. What I need to do... I don't need to level up to get this. I can just get Flux 2 right now. So I need to get Flux 2 at this point. And then I have that. Oh, okay. Would you guys be interested in me doing like a you know, like a run of Nioh 2, but I do as the IGN guide says, you know, instead of doing what I would normally do. I haven't checked what the guide says, but could be funny. Okay. I might need to actually set up the timer for this because since I don't have the Maida clan, I want to know, this is one of the key parts, I want to know what's the difference between trying to combo it and, you know, grapple things, abuse. Because the thing is, like, I mean, there's also a big change with, you know, if I have like the, what is it called, the confusion app as well. Because if I have the confusion app, I can cheese it better. So yeah, give me 1 second. Other files, let's split. Vado a dormire, buona continuazione. Grazie mille. Buona serata. No, that would be like that's not the same, right? Buonasera. Yeah, buonasera. Buonasera and buona serata is not exactly the same, right?
野党どものねぐらになっていたか。神にすがることもできない。
Buonanotte. Okay, okay, okay.
新手か。
I'm just...
この弱兵どもがいくら来ても無駄よ。なんだ。つけどもめ。あれ。
Okay, that's 40. Now let me see, same setup. Oh fuck. Same thing, but without the, what is it called? You know, we're grappling basically, just grappling. As if I had like the Maida clan. I'll probably just do like this region and then I'll call it probably. I was originally gonna like do like the whole thing, but then I just started doing all things instead. Okay, let's see. Fuck off. Yeah, I think that is definitely slower. Now I have to check like a couple more other variables. But yeah, that feels slower and more risky actually. Thought I told Yo, Watcher. I'm glad you enjoyed the run. I'm just checking out some things now. Like I want to do runs without the Maida clan. At sometime soon-ish, I guess. So I'm just checking out like several things that I can do. It's basically just gonna be slower, but you know, depending on several factors, it might be interesting.
新手か織田の弱兵どもがいくら来ても無駄よなんだ雷が落ちてきため
Okay, that's better. Okay, so for this setup, I feel like that's the best one. The thing is, it's just I don't know, just knowing about the game, pretty much. I feel like in terms of skills, it's not like particularly something that I am like that great at, like just having skills. It's more like just knowing what to do. Okay, there was a spot where I could get like an axe, because I want to check one thing. It was here, I think. And here... no. Here, okay. Because I want to check if I can get one axe that potentially is a corruption-based axe. So I can test that other thing, other strat. Hammer, fuck. Yeah, fuck. I'm gonna try and see if I have like a save file for this. Hopefully I do. Because I want to check this. The good thing is that now I have like every file has, you know, like every file has the same clan, so therefore now it will have no clan on any file as well. So really, that ain't good. That ain't good, chief. I guess I can just load this save file and then continue it. I guess, yeah, let's go. I have not played Hades. I did want to play at some point. I mean, I kinda still do, I guess, but I don't know, it's just, there's a lot of games that I would like to play, but I just never have gotten around that. Yo, Walk of Life. What do I rate Nioh 1 and 2 out of 10? For me, Nioh 2 is like very close to perfect. It's like a 9.5. Nioh 1, honestly, like after Nioh 2 came out, Nioh 1 took a hit in my view. You know, it's not as good as I once. Oh, wait, one minute, what? One moment. Why do I have Maida Clan? Game? I should not have Maida Clan. Okay, I'll continue this because it doesn't really matter, but I should not have Maida Clan. Yeah, what I was saying. So Nioh 1 right now, it would be like an 8. Because there's like a lot of things that Nioh 2 just did way better. But back then when it came out, it'd be closer to a 9. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, right now, like after everything, I would say like an 8. But in Nioh 2, yeah, 9.5. It has not changed in quite a while. Give me one second. What? What do you mean pledge? Wait, do I have? Wait. Huh? Wait, does it not update then? Maybe it's like before. Maybe I need to rest before it updates then. Because now I'm like, it says that I'm not pledged. But I did have the effect of my other clan. That's interesting. I guess you need to like rest at the shrine or something. Okay. What about you, Walk of Life? I feel like Nioh 2 doesn't need to be like that different for me to call it like a 10 out of 10. In fact, like I'm kind of stingy at giving 10s. Like I have not given a single game a 10 out of 10 because I always feel like there's some things that just should have not been like that. Like for example, like the farming hidden skills on this one. I still feel like the what is it called? The dojos don't make much sense in how, like, you know, you have dojos that are locked in the story which also lock skills behind, and you have like a novice dojo that doesn't really teach you anything that you have not learned already or any of the other ones. The same with like, and then the other dojos that are like kind of like just whatever. You like Nioh 1 more because Living Weapon. You know, Living Weapon is one thing that I don't like about Nioh 1, for example. Like in Nioh 2, you have many things for me that are just better. Character creator is one of them. Okay. You have a really good character creator on Nioh 2. It could be better, yes, but you know, it is really good. Yokai abilities are definitely one thing as well. Yokai shift, even though it could be better, it could have been more expanded upon, I like more than Nioh 1's Living Weapon. And sadly enough, you know, Living Artifact I think is really good, but you know, it is kind of like in Nioh 3, I don't know, it's just like in principle it is really good, but then they nerfed it, and right now it's in a state that I feel like it's kind of sad. But like as it was, you know, before the game came out, Living Artifact was really good. And then also, I don't know, like the in general, like the fact that it's ingrained in, you know, the samurai and ninja style split gameplay also takes away from it. But if it was just the samurai style Living Artifact Okay, so I've talked about it in like just a few moments ago. Walk of Life. Nioh 3 on its own, if it didn't have, you know, Nioh 3 title on it, if Nioh didn't exist before it, it would be like a really good game. Flawed, but really good game. The issue is, it is called Nioh 3, and Nioh 1 and 2 do exist. So I have it as a, you know, we have it as a comparison, right? And because we have it as a comparison, you can see in which ways it has improved and in which ways it has changed, or in my opinion, worse. So yeah, because of that, it is a much worse game than I think it should have been. No, just change lock on the fucking mini sword. Not mini, but you know, compared to the other one, yes. No, it's not level 1 equipment challenge. That is not really too much of a challenge for me in this game. Just level 1. Well, I mean, technically no equipment. That is not true because I do have equipment here, obviously. I have done a no equipment run, you know, without anything, but it wasn't level 1. Okay, so we have exactly what I wanted to get, actually. That's nice. In order to test it. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you want my opinion, I am very critical about what they have done with Nioh 3. In some ways, in several ways, they have improved upon the formula. In other ways, they have just spit on it and shot themselves in the foot. And, you know, replayability-wise especially, it is just worse. And they don't seem to take measures to fix that issue. So, you know, for now, until I see that they are actually addressing that, then I am not interested in playing Nioh 3 anymore. Sadly, because I wish I was. But just checking if I have done anything weird here. How much would I rate it though? Depends. As a game on its own or as a Nioh 3? Like, in terms of how good of a sequel it is for Nioh, like it is hard for me to say. Like, I think that if you exclude the very beginning of the playthrough, on a regular playthrough, casual playthrough, it is really good actually, and I would say like 9, right? Even with these issues and whatnot. When you take it as a game that is called Nioh 3, it is a sequel to Nioh 1 and 2, or sequel, prequel, whatever. And you want to play the game as much as you want, you know, like you know, you want to replay it, you want to play the end game, you want to do a different playthrough, all that stuff, right? As all of that, to me, it's like a 6. Like, it drops so much outside of like the first playthrough experience. You know, again, first playthrough experience excluding the start of it, because the start of it is trash. And that is one of the reasons why the replayability is bad. Yeah, to me, Nioh 3 is the worst one. I don't know if it will stay like that, but it doesn't look like they are going in the direction to fix those issues. Again, this is just my opinion. As someone who really values replayability, I like to play the game from scratch multiple times, doing different things, challenges, speedruns, whatever, right? If you just focus on the one playthrough and then endgame, you may have a very different experience, okay? But that is my experience. You hope that DLC would make 3 right? Would not expect too much, honestly. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like if there were hints towards them going in a particular direction, that address these issues that I have with Nioh 3, and it's not just me, and there's other people, but some other people might not have these issues as well. Then I would say something else, but it just feels like they're just not going in that direction whatsoever. So yeah, sadly, it is what it is. And again, I think, okay, I really feel like the Nioh 3 is definitely worth a playthrough. It's a good first playthrough experience if you exclude the very start of it. But compared to the content that you have in Nioh 1 and 2, the replayability that this Nioh 1 and 2 offer you is just very disappointing in that regard. But again, if you do like one playthrough and you stick with it and you do endgame and whatnot, you could basically have like the time of your life you really want. But that is not how I play these games. Like the one playthrough kind of deal, or one file kind of deal and then endgame kind of deal, that is not how I tend to play these games. I do play them like that once, but then after I'm done with that, then I want to just replay it, challenge runs, speedruns and whatnot. And Nioh 3 just doesn't have that. And it goes beyond like some of these issues that I've been talking about, like speedrun wise. Okay, just if you disregard everything, like the intro tutorial, the tutorial pop-ups, the slowing down because the NPC is talking, all the shenanigans going on, even if you exclude all of that, there's still the fact that a ninja style is so overpowered, especially early game, especially with Tonfa and whatnot, that it's just basically like you don't even speedrun it as a Nioh game, pretty much. Like there's some stuff like that, but like it's just basically just not interesting speedrun wise either. And it's super hard as well. That's the thing. Like it is the hardest one to speedrun, and at the same time it is also the least interesting one to speedrun, which is the worst combo that you can have. Because if it was very hard but also very interesting, it would be one thing. But no, it is hard for the wrong reasons, and part of that makes it very uninteresting. Like, to give you one example of the several things that why it is not a good speed game. In Nioh 1 and 2, but let's just take 2 as a concept. When you apply confusion to an enemy and you have depleted their ki, until that confusion debuff runs out, they will not recover. And that's true for basically almost every single boss, or really every boss. There's some enemies that if you enter a certain threshold, they will recover, but those are not bosses. And those are DLC enemies as well. But yeah, in general, that's the rule, right? But in Nioh 3, on every single boss, or like yokai boss, you proc confusion. Like you say, you deplete the ki, you worry the ki down, you proc confusion, all the stuff. and it will recover immediately, pretty much, like very, very often, in the middle of that confusion debuff, which is supposed to prevent exactly that. So you have to kind of like just deplete the key, let them enter the Darkroom phase, and then deplete the key again and confuse them, and then it might actually stick. So it's just like things like this, and this is just one example, that it just make it so annoying and obnoxious to just, you know, do strats, because like it's even more RNG to deal with, and all the while you're doing this, you're doing it with Tonfa, right? Like with a ninja style. You're not doing the samurai style and whatnot. You could do runs with samurai style only, of course, but it would still be a problem, and it would be at least, you know, even more problematic, I would say. In general, like the balance is pretty ass in that regard as well. Because the thing, that's another thing. Like casually speaking, if you just go around the map and you do your things, you collect your shenanigans and whatnot, and then you do the bosses, and you don't, you know, deny yourself from using the things that you find, you know, you don't actively make yourself weaker or not as strong, you know, not using those things that you find, you keep finding, then you're gonna have like a super easy time because you're gonna just melt them through. But mechanically speaking, the bosses are way rougher than in Nioh 1 and 2. Yeah, you say that, but it's not really that either, Walk of Life. Because they did that already in Nioh 2, okay? In Nioh 1, you proc confusion, and you don't need to worry about the key, because the confusion depletes the key on the yokai, right? In Nioh 2, you have to deplete the key, and then they will not recover it until the confusion runs out, right? In Nioh 3, it works like in Nioh 2, kinda. But then they also add stacks to it. Like you have like the first stack that does like, I don't remember if it was like 40% damage or something like that. Give me 1 second. I have it around here. Here. Okay, so it has 3 tiers, you know, 2 elements plus 40% damage increase. Then with 3 elements, you have 70% damage increase. And then with 4 elements, it's 70% damage increase and a sloth, basically. So if you actually do apply confusion and make the most of it, excluding the fact that you don't have the consistency on the first one, you know, because it just recovers immediately. You have to wait for the next one, basically. Excluding that fact, confusion is actually way more broken than in Nioh 2. Like, it actually is. So it's kind of funny, because... Yeah. Like in Nioh 2, the most OP thing that you have is the feathers. You know, you pair the feathers with the confusion, and you can melt everything, right? And the next most OP thing that you have is Axe with confusion with Maeda Clan, right? And that is already a big jump in performance. Like, you can demolish bosses with that, you know, with the Maeda Clan, Axe, confusion strats. That's what the Featherless Speedrun does, right? But you still have to fight it. You cannot just completely cheese it, right? In Nioh 3, like, if you get to that point where you can just actually do the full confusion shenanigans, you can just absolutely fucking destroy. Again, in the speedrun, it is of Nioh 3, I mean, it is not as big of a thing, you know. It's like, it's not like you full destroy it. You still do a like shit ton of damage, don't get me wrong, because ninja style shenanigans is OP, but compared to what people are doing casually with the confusion, yeah, like it is a big leap. Anyways, so yeah, it's not like, it's not even a downgrade. If anything, it's a downgrade to speedrun strats using confusion, not to confusion itself. If that makes sense. But again, like the game is truly ass to run. And you can ask the world record holder, you know, Sam, about that. The only reason why he's doing it is because I started the timer or whatever. It's because he wants to get the deathmatch run. I don't even know if he's actually doing runs. What the fuck? We'll do it again. That was a pretty fucking shit fight, honestly. So yeah, I don't know, like, it's just, there's a lot of things going on with Nioh 3 that I just don't get. I could get give me 1 second. No new weapon. Just the gameplay split between samurai and ninja style. And you know, also the jumping and, you know, air attacks, whatnot. The thing is, like, ah man, it's just like, it would have been so much better if they didn't add ninja style and they just added like the jumping shenanigans and, you know, the air attacks and whatnot to samurai, and left it there. But no. Yeah, they're jumping. Remember that Nioh 3 is open field. Do not be confused with open world. Totally different things. Bro, what the... Come on, bro. Seriously? Seriously, bro? Okay. I think it's definitely better to do that instead. Like, I think we're better off doing the final blow rather than the grapple without the Maida clone. Honestly, I'm gonna talk about this as well sometime, but I think jumping mechanics, especially for these kind of games, are kind of overrated. Like I'm not saying that they're just straight up bad, you know, that you cannot make them work and make it worth it, because I think you can, and in fact, part of like Nioh 3 demonstrates that you can, and they're good. There is other things that maybe are not implemented as well, of course, but in general they're good. But in some other games, I feel like the jumping mechanic is just kind of like a nothing thing. What am I doing? Okay, so maybe... Okay, with that I need to... Okay. So... I guess the strat is to get him into winded state, then grapple, and then after that grapple, not grapple anymore and just do final blows. Because I can do like a double double quick attack and then final blow. Double quick attack, block 2, but final blow. Yeah, that would be like the actual thing. I forgot to do this. Jumping in Souls and Souls-like is not a good idea. I guess. In Nioh, I feel like it's decent. Like, I feel like the issue with Nioh 3 is that they kind of like when they thought about jumping and air attacks and whatnot, they thought about ninja, and then they incorporated like ninja style, and that kind of like killed the idea that it could have been, in my opinion. But in other more simplistic games, like, you know, Souls-like and whatnot, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like nothing. It's not that great. Yeah. I want to do the other strat because I think it just happened to work in a particular way, and it didn't really do the actual strat that I wanted. Because, you know, obviously there's RNG going on with this, but the other strat is the more likely one. Is it, you know, the typical? I want to practice this particular strat, and then I'm not getting the RNG kind of scenario. But yeah, who knows? Like, maybe the DLCs will make everything perfect. You know, they're saving all these bigger updates regarding these things for the DLCs, and we'll be all happy. And Nioh 3 will be the best game ever, but I doubt that. Like, just based on all the evidence and the fact that they have been patching the game and not addressing those issues. So, yeah. I'm just happy that we still have Nioh 2. Nioh 2 will always be my beloved. But yeah, technically they could make it so Nioh 3 is also up there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll do it one more time. That's pretty good. Is there an end to a Nioh series? Will there be 4 and 5? I don't know. If you... Like, I don't know what they have in mind. If you were to ask me, like a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, I would have said that if they do Nioh 3, it would have been probably the last one. It would be like the culmination. But I don't know. They could do like a Nioh likes from now on. They could do like more Niohs, but they are more separated or more further away from the core Nioh experience of the first two. I don't know. Because if they see it as something that is really good for them, like how they did it in Nioh 3, and they want to go on the same path, and then we could see like this kind of direction where they are just doing these games that are similar to Nioh 1 and 2, but they are very different at the same time. You know what I mean? Man, this guy. Okay, I have to do that because otherwise it saves and whatnot. Let me make sure of one thing. Steam, go offline. Thank you. No. Enter. I think making 4 and 5 is a bit of milk in the series. Yeah. In a sense. But it depends. Like, would they do Nioh 4 and 5 or whatever, addressing the issues that the Nioh 3 had? Then, in my opinion, is more like redeeming themselves rather than making the series. We still don't know what's going to happen with the DLCs, by the way. I'm just assuming nothing changes significantly. But if they go on the path of Nioh 3, and just forget about how they did things in Nioh 1 and 2, then yeah, it would be like basically milking the series. At least from my viewpoint. Because that will mean that they saw that the formula of Nioh 3 was giving them better profits, and they didn't care much about the feedback that the players, the veteran players were giving, and then they continue with that. The issue with that, by the way, from a business model perspective, okay, I'm not an expert in this topic, but I'm just using logic for anything that I say. If you have like an audience, like a target, like a player base, right? With Nioh 1 and Nioh 2, and now you come with Nioh 3, you betray the expectations and like how many of the core things of the Nioh series were like with Nioh 3, you don't address those issues with DLCs. I'm assuming like the worst case scenario, okay? Which is the more likely scenario as well with Nioh 3, which is them not doing significant changes to address these issues. And then you put out Nioh 4 like some years later or whatever, and it is within the same line of Nioh 3, then they are just milking the series. They just are focusing on the profits of the IP, and in that regard, it would be a bad decision. And you wonder why. You might wonder why. Okay, maybe you get what I'm going for with this. But think about this. You did get new people with Nioh 3, right? A lot of new people who are casuals and whatnot played Nioh 3, and they're happy with it, and then they moved on and played other games, right? People who played Nioh 1 and 2, they were already happy with them, and then with Nioh 3 they're not happy, and they see that you're doing the same thing with Nioh 4, are not going to get Nioh 4. At least I wouldn't. Like, you know, I would still request a key, I guess, you know, because I do have that, in theory, at least for now. Who knows, maybe they see how negative I am about Nioh 3, and they say, you know what, fuck you, we don't give you a key. I don't know. I don't know. But, yeah, if for whatever reason I would have to, you know, they make Nioh 4 and it is like that in that line of Nioh 3, and, you know, I cannot get a copy and whatnot, I would have to buy it. I would not buy it. Because it would not be the kind of thing that I want to see, like that I want to play, you know. The good thing is that they will always release at least one demo before the game comes out. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would be better off for everyone, including themselves, if they release a different game. Like something like Nioh, but not Nioh. You could say something similar to what they did with Elden Ring, you know, with From Software and whatnot. You know, Elden Ring is basically like Dark Souls 4 Open World Edition, right? But, you know, maybe something closer to maybe Bloodborne, you know, to what Bloodborne was when it came out, compared to Dark Souls. Something like the other thing, but different. Yeah, I think this is good. Something like this is what I'm supposed to do here. Okay, I'll just continue. So yeah, hopefully I'm wrong, but I tend to be pretty good at reading these things. It always kind of reminds me of the situation with Kingdom Hearts series. I don't know if you play or if you have seen much of the Kingdom Hearts series, but you know how Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, I guess you could say, specify, was like basically the peak of the series in terms of gameplay feel and whatnot. It was not the best on everything, you know, it was not perfect, but you know, it was like gameplay wise it was peak, right? And then they started doing these older games, you know, like Build by Sleep, did like the Dream Drop Distance, then they did the Aqua game, and then Kingdom Hearts 3, and they were all floaty as hell, and they did not have the same snappy feel. I know floaty is maybe not the right term, but you know, feel like it's just not the same, you know. It's kind of like they changed the design, they went in a different line, right? It was the same series, but also not the same since then, right? So, you know, I kind of hope that that is not gonna happen with Nioh, but I mean, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of that. Like the difference of, you know, before and after Kingdom Hearts 2, or in this case Nioh 2. Like after they did Nioh 2, they started releasing other games, right? Like we had Wolong, we had Stranger of Paradise, we had Rise of the Ronin, and they all kind of build up upon themselves towards Nioh 3. And I was always thinking, I know they're just testing things, you know, like this formula is not the formula they're gonna use for Nioh 3. And I was half right with that. I was hopeful that they would still have like the core Nioh feel, and in general, like, you know, it will just, you know, Nioh 3, not Nioh-like 3. But then they ended up just going that way, or, you know, on the things that I was always being critic about with Wolong and with Rise of the Ronin and whatnot. I have not played A Stranger of Paradise, by the way. One day I will, I guess, but I have not played it yet. But yeah. And again, at no point I'm saying that they did not make like everything about Nioh 3 is bad. No, there's a lot of things that Nioh 3 did really good. The problem is all the things that they just kind of like make everything worse, you know. If they put Nioh 3 in a state where I'm happy about replayability and, you know, in general, like, you know, the game state, you know, if the miracle happens, then yes, I will do that. But chances are not very high, honestly. Chances are actually pretty fucking low. I think I have a bigger chance of winning the lottery next year than that happening. And that is wild to say, considering my shit luck. It is, I see the pattern, I see the tendency. They would have to kind of like find themselves face to face with the situation financially. And the funny thing is that even in that case, I think it would still not happen. I think they will just move on to something else, or maybe even close, if that were to happen. You know what I mean? Oh damn, I didn't have flux? What the fuck? Do I have what? I mean, I'm gonna assume an average drop, I guess. I don't know. I'll do this mission and the next one in theory, and then I'll call it, because otherwise it's gonna get very late for me. I mean, not very late for me, but for me nowadays that I am busier, I could say. Okay, let's see if I remember how to do this. Considering speedrunning Nioh 1 again. It's 3 AM for you. Like the thing is, it's not like I haven't considered it, but this is not good. I have to do more damage before the stuns, I feel like. So yeah, like, it's not like I haven't considered it, it's just that... Like with Nioh 2, I'm more curious about certain things, like for example this is what I'm doing right here without the Maeda clan. Though I don't think I'll make like a big comeback to this game either. I'm just kind of messing around and see how it feels. Like I don't feel like lately I am willing to grind as much when it comes to speedruns for several reasons. But when I think about doing Nioh 1, I feel like maybe I would rather kind of like play one of those games that I haven't played yet that I should play, you know. Not gonna stop. No. That ain't good shit. Oh man, that's pretty rough. Then I'm doing like a super backup there, just to keep it in place. I mean, it was nice for sure, but I don't know. It just I've become so accustomed to Nioh 2 having you know, different options, you know, with the yokai abilities, you know, to using like a custom character like I am. And then speedrun wise, Nioh 1, it was nice to figure out things and whatnot, but you don't have this kind of situation where, like, once you already know what to do and whatnot, all the RNG aspects are kind of like outside of fights, pretty much. Not all of them, but almost all of them. And the ones that are not outside of fights, like, yes, not outside of fights, are kind of like in bad fights. So, I don't know, like, I like the aspect of improvisation and optimizing whenever something goes a particular way and not another way with Nioh 2. That you just don't have on Nioh 1. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm very particular with my ones. Okay, I'll continue because otherwise it's gonna be rough. So it's kind of like a very similar fight. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, with Nioh 1, like Nioh 1 is the, in a sense, is the least balanced, you know, between Nioh 1 and 2, because sure, they can just destroy you in one hit, you know, like they one shot you and whatnot. But at the same time, you can destroy the bosses super easily, both human and yokai bosses. Human bosses were weak to, you know, like they shoot you in the head and then EI loop you to death. And the yokai bosses, so, you know, confusion, you know, because confusion, again, like I said before, depletes the key entirely on the boss or on the yokai enemy. On Nioh 1. You need to work with the key. Santa Cross, also EI quick draw, imperative strike, I think it is on the Odachi. All the EI skills. There's the EI loop. And the thing is, you also didn't even need the EI loop in order to kind of cheese the bosses.
人や荷を運ぶからくりのようじゃの面白いですな半兵衛も湯にこしらえてくれんかの
Like you said, like for example with dual swords. Like I remember back before, you know, we started doing that in the speedruns. We were using like the sloth shenanigans, right? And then when it comes to fighting against Jin Hayabusa, you could just kind of semi-loop him with Son of the Cross. You know, you basically waited for an opening, did God of Wind 3, and then you started doing like Son of the Cross for a while, and then repeat. So that was without the EI loop shenanigans. It was like a different kind of shenanigans. I remember doing that on ESA 2018. When I was still like very new to speedrunning. Not very new, but you know, relatively new. Now what do we do here? That works. Haven't played Nioh 2 in... We're at May, right? Yeah, I haven't played Nioh 2 in over 5 months. Yeah, sloth is a very bad mechanic in general, like both for the player and for the game itself. Like when you sloth an enemy, it just kind of like removes the challenge, and it's also like a terrible teacher. Like if you're used to playing with a sloth, then you don't know how to play the game because it just like everything is way faster, right? And if you're not used to sloth, and then they use sloth, it kind of ruins your gameplay as well because it's way too slow, right? So your timings are completely off, one way or another, right? And then when it comes to you getting sloth, it just makes everything like really fucking annoying. So yeah, this is not turning damage. It's not really even that. I would say training dummy is more like a quick change, you know, where you can just revive. Kind of gives you like another life, you know. It's just kind of like easy mode and whatnot, but without, you know, everything still works the same. You just get another life. I feel like that would be more accurate, I would say. Okay, I guess I'll do Tadremoke, and then I'll call it.
Nioh が言うには、この先に行けば安全に敵から逃れられる装置や。Nioh にゆかりのある土地のようじゃが、森の
Fuck you! I hate that so much. I hate the Odachi guys so much. Oh man. The most dangerous thing that you can do. Just dash past an Odachi guy. Yeah, same. Like, I agree. Like, I don't like sloth, I don't like quick change. But if I had to pick between one or the other, I would say quick change is less of an aggressor. But yeah, I also don't like it. Same with like the Kupo coin in Kingdom Hearts 3. People die when they're killed.
この先に行けば安全に敵から逃れられる装置や。
And then you with quick change. Who decided that?
森の中から嫌な気配を感じますの。あやかしも潜んでおるじゃろう。くれぐれも気をつけての。
何も見えぬ。どこだ。どこにいるあやかし。
But yeah, like I agree. Like both mechanics are pretty shit. I also would like the if Lightning acted differently, because it kind of throws you off a lot. Because it's just like you're going against an enemy or a boss or whatever that is weak to lightning. Maybe like you want to set up things with lightning, and then suddenly the timings change because lightning. My most hated enemy in every Nioh, I hate umbrellas. I feel like especially in Nioh 1, but in general umbrellas are so shit. When you... Dogs and foxes are your most hated. Honestly, foxes are pretty OP, because they're a bit too fast for the game, I would say. But I wouldn't say I hate them. In Nioh 2, I think that my most hated enemy It would be a toss-up between... Honestly, maybe not a toss-up. Ongyoki. Ongyoki is a piece of shit. The clone spamming asshole. The other one that I was considering would be Omoraki. No, Omoraki, sorry. No. Omoraki is another one. The... What is it called? The... Man. The cousin of the Tengu. The big one. Why do I always forget about this fucking enemy name? I forgot. I forgot. Favorite boss in Nioh 1. Let's see. Man, it's been a minute. If we're doing main missions only... I mean, some of the human ones are pretty shit. Like the fight with Sanada and Sasuke is pretty shit. I remember there's one fight with Toyotomi and Ninetales in one side mission that is also like fucking bullshit. We're doing only main. I mean, I always felt like the Ogres fight was kind of random and meh. Like it felt kind of just there, you know, like it didn't do anything. I mean, there's also obviously the what is it called? The yeah, the Gashadokuro. Gashadokuro fight is pretty shit. I would say more so than Yamata no Orochi. Yamata no Orochi is okay. It's not a good fight by any means, but you know, it is not completely terrible in my opinion. I would say probably Lady Sakabe is worse in Nioh 2 than Yamata no Orochi even. I don't know. It depends. I will have to play again with Yamata no Orochi. Giant Centipede is pretty shit. Giant Centipede is fucking shit. There's quite a few really bad fights, honestly, in Nioh 1. So, off the top of my head, there is a Giant Centipede, Umibozu, Ogres is kind of like nothing, Gashadokuro, Yamata no Orochi, Hage dies. Block it and apply the buff. The thing is, like, in Nioh 1, there's like a lot of bullshit, that's the thing. Like, for example, on the first boss of the first DLC, you know, like the Shigazane, was it? I think. Date Shigazane, yeah, Date Shigazane. has like one move that is very hard to avoid and is a fucking one shot. That's kind of fucking bullshit. Like the numbers in Nioh 1 are so ass, so unbalanced. I remember like Umibozu can kill you like I don't know how many times over. Like probably like 4 or 5 times over on just on new game with the laser. Kind of like the same with Shigazane. Just not as much because by then you're supposed to be a bit stronger. Replacement for the Great Centipede, yeah. Also the Onmoraki that I mentioned earlier, not a good fight either. That's for sure. I don't know, there's quite a few. And I think the main reason why Ninetales is pretty bad is because you have Sanada Yukimura around. And they buffed the HP of the boss because of that. And as for Nioh 2, in terms of enemies... yeah, I mentioned the enemies already. Okay, bosses. If we're doing main story bosses, Kashin Koji takes the cake, for sure. Kashin Koji is the worst. Followed by Hachisuka Koroku. And Lady Osakabe. And then Gashado Kuro. No, Gashado Kuro? No, Daidara Bochi. The Gashado Kuro is the other one, it's the skeleton. I don't know why I said Gashado Kuro. Yeah, those. On the DLC, like the blob fight is also not great, you know. Besides that, I feel like the other fights are not that bad. There's some ones, but overall they're pretty good, I would say, in comparison. And in terms of side bosses on Nioh 2, I mean, everyone talks about like Saito Toshimitsu. There's also like the Kukai. Ancient Nioh Tengu as well. The thing is, like, Ancient Nioh Tengu especially feels like it's like tuned for a fighting game, not an action RPG. Kind of like with Ren being tuned for action adventure, right? Hack and slash, not action RPG. So it kind of makes sense, but you know, it's just not super pleasant to fight, especially with certain weapons. And then Kukai is kind of like just straight up bullshit. Another thing about it, Kukai kind of feels like a demo of Nioh 3. With some of the human boss fights in Nioh 3. Which I haven't even mentioned earlier, but yeah. There's an issue with that as well. Did I get the thing here? I think I did. Okay, I'll do this fight once. And then I'll call it. I know, right? Well, it's almost like I've been playing this game a lot. And I kind of know what I'm saying. Almost. Come on. do it again. So Nioh can always be adding a shitty boss fight. Yeah, but I feel like in general, like the quality of boss fights from Nioh 1 to Nioh 2 increased by quite a bit. Like both the average and the amount of lows. Like the bad boss fights of Nioh 2 are not as bad as the bad boss fights from Nioh 1. That makes sense. Come on, bro. That ain't good shit. I want to see like a better fight. This fight was pretty shit. Like I still got it, but it wasn't good. Would have loved it if the umbrella got me. Really? Why? Oh, fuck, I forgot. Man, how the fuck did I forget that, man? Fuck off. Maybe it is fun. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it is not that fun to get one shot. Yeah, I guess you were talking about that specifically. And then I would say, and this is why I hate umbrellas. Something like that, yeah. Actually, the fact why I hate umbrellas is because when you actually have to deal with them, they're so annoying. They don't give you many openings. They keep spamming the same fucking move that doesn't give you many openings to begin with. And then you're left with this misery. Can you? Okay, so it's actually not nearly as bad as I thought, man. Like, there's not that much of a difference. There's not that much of a difference, man. I thought I was gonna have like more of a difference without the Maida clan. It's kind of shocking. I mean, I guess it is. It makes sense because I am actually just used to doing level 1 runs. Oh, I'm actually ending it right now. Like it's already past 2 a.m. right now. I'm gonna be calling it right now. I don't know if anyone is around online. Let me see, let me see. I don't have like a good target right now. Alright, yeah, we're gonna call it here. See you guys in the next one. I don't know when actually, because this Saturday I'm busy. I think this Sunday. Actually, I'm gonna look it up right now. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look up if this Sunday I have time to stream. Give me 1 second. Okay. I think I do. Oh no. No, I think I don't. Yeah, I mean, maybe I do stream on the night or something. But in theory, I'm not gonna really have time to stream on my usual schedule this week. Yeah, see you around. I don't know when I will do another stream, but you know, lately I'm busier, so it's harder. Yeah, see you around. Bye bye. Thank you for stopping by.